The countdown to the 2023 general elections is actually on in earnest, and we also continue on the road to a violence-free 2023. My name is Callivision. Welcome to Violence Free World. I'm privileged to have as guest on the program today the former governor of Kano State, former Minister of Defense, and the presidential candidate of the NNPP, Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Excellency, you're welcome to the program.
Kelly, thank you very much.
Okay. The worsening state of insecurity in Nigeria is beginning to threaten directly the elections, as it seems. A lot of people now, on the account of rampant attacks all over the Federation, are beginning to fear that there may be no elections come 2023. Are you one of those persons that knows these fears?
Well, let me start by thanking you for finding time to come and have this interview with me. Now, on the issue of insecurity in the country, I believe it is everybody's concern in this country. And even our friends across the world are so worried about the insecurity in this country. And I believe it's an opportunity for me to appeal to the federal government, the military, that's the military itself, and other security agencies to stand up to the task, to see that this unfortunate situation doesn't continue. As it is, I believe that unless the insecurity escalates, I don't see any problem with election. And I believe it's everybody's prayer that the insecurity doesn't go beyond where it is today. And therefore, we are hoping that by 2023, just in the next year, there will be election. So that Nigerians once again will be given an opportunity to elect their leaders. And our prayer also is that Nigerians will be much wiser in 2023 by way of electing the best out of the candidates, by way of ensuring that every vote counts, so that we can, by the grace of God, change the fortune of this country for the better.
Okay, closely related to this is failing to act on intelligence. And it's instructive that as a former Minister of Defense, you know about all of this. When reports come forward as to the fact that, intelligence reports come forward as to the fact that this kind of possibilities are all out there, and yet it's left to fester. Nothing is done until it comes and it happens. Impunity is beginning to look like it's real, something that is never going to go away. How would you have rather we deal with a situation like this?
Well, I believe all those things have to do with the political will, and they have also have to do with the capacity. When you have a political will to handle these issues, I believe that many ideas would come in. But the other angle is the issue of that capacity. If the government has no capacity to perform a particular function, then it becomes more difficult to see how it can be solved. I believe that this is a time for all of us to come together to see how we can support the efforts of the military, efforts of other security agencies by way of passing the information necessary for them to succeed. We work together and see how it goes from now to the time of election. But my belief is that the government and all other stakeholders will join hands to make sure that election next year takes place.
ethnicity and religion are again playing a very major role. And yet people are also citing fairness this time around. When we speak fairness, we're referring to rotational presidency. The presidency haven't been domiciled in the northwest in particular this time. It presupposes that everybody would want it to come from the south this time around. Yet, you are going for the presidency. You are from the same extraction as Muhammadu Buhari. You want to take over from him. How do you think this affects the thinking around people's mind as far as your chances are concerned?
Yes, I believe that we have, or I have, a very good chance in the sense that if you look at even going by what you are trying to say, the statistics of it in the north and south, it all depends on how you look at it. If you look at it from the party point of view, the APC, which is now going to do 8 years, and PDP, that has been in government for 16 years. I believe that if you do the arithmetic, you can see that going by the party, if you are in PDP, it's like you had more years of the south than the north. If you are in APC, you can make that argument that the presidency is now in the northwest for, let's say, 8 years. But I'm not in either of the two. I'm contesting under the NNPP, New Nigeria People's Party. And the party at this level, we can say it's a new party. We are just starting. But let me tell you the thinking of the grassroots now. The thinking of the people, especially the voters in this country, is not a matter of where the president comes. It's a matter of capacity, it's a matter of credibility, and it's a matter of who has the empathy, who is coming really to save the country. And these are the main issues. In fact, we have people on the extreme end of it all who are saying that if they can borrow anybody from anywhere to come and sort out the issue in this country, they will be very happy to do that. That's an extreme. But the point and the reality is that right now, Nigeria is in their need of the leadership, and people are looking for the best. And I believe that is where we come in. Going by our antecedents, going by what we have done in the past, we have proved to be people of high integrity, a lot of capacity, and we have the capacity to unite the country. And these are some of the leading things that is required. Now people are not talking of necessarily, especially those who are conversant with the national politics, not looking for their members of their tribe or their religion or people from their region. No. Now people are saying who is the best. And that is the area that I believe that we are going to be elected in 2023.
Good governance seems to be it for you completely and nothing else. All right, now, elections once again seem to have been set on a tripod. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, like it happened in the past. Now, how does this affect our quest for national cohesion as we've been going? And how does it affect you? You just alluded to that in a way, but take it in perspective generally.
Well, I don't think it affects me in the sense that I'm not contesting this election because I am a Muslim or because I am a Hausa man or because I come from the Northwest. I am contesting because I believe that I am the best under this circumstance. And I have to tell you that when I started this political journey in 1992, when I was Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, 93, I was there when a Muslim ticket was given out by my party, the SDP, at that particular time. And under circumstances, they were the best, and they contested election. Everybody knew that SDP won that election, but for whatever reason, our candidates were not able to get the opportunity to hold the offices. But that was a good example, and that's the sort of situation that I would want to see this country going back to. Not necessarily a religion. We want to see people of whatever religion coming up and being accepted by Nigerians. What we are seeing today, I believe, is a failure of subsequent governments that were not able to unite the country, that were not able to do the right thing, to the extent that everybody now is shouting his or her tribe, his or her own religion, and so on and so forth. That is how, I mean, that's not how life should be in this country. And I pray that in my lifetime, I will once again witness a united Nigeria where tickets are not, could be of any faith. And right now, it's a big issue, and that was why from our own side, we did everything possible to get the best ticket. And that was why we were able to get Bishop Isaac Idahosa to be my running mate from Edo State, and a bishop, and in fact, Archbishop designate now to be my running mate. And it's not only because he's a Christian or a bishop, but because we believe he had the capacity and he has the people at heart. These are the sort of people who believe that this country should come together and work as a family and make progress like all other leading countries in this world.
The kwankwaso larger-than-life image in Kano State and the reality of winning the general elections all over Nigeria, part of what we're going to come back and talk to once we return from this break. This is Violence Free World. We'll be right back after this time out. Welcome back. This is Steve Violence Free World, and we have on a hot seat His Excellency Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of the NNPP. Excellency, before we went on the break, we hinted at your overwhelming popularity in Kano State. Analysts insist nobody can dispute that. Yet, they also acknowledge that we need much more than that to win the general elections in Nigeria. Now, going by the way it is, speak to your spread in all other places as implicit in your mind presently.
You see, we always tell our friends that don't meet anybody in the market or in the airport or on the way just to assess him and say he is good or bad. If you want to confirm that God is home, and whatever they tell you, you should stand by that. That's why when they mention Kano, I feel very happy because one, it is my home, and two, politics is a game of number. Kano is not a 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million registered voter state. Kano has a huge number of registered voters. Not only that, most of them, if not all of them, will come out on the election day and vote, unlike other states where you have sometimes less than 20% people coming out to vote. And others will say northwest, some will say north. Those who know will say popularity cut across the country. And I believe that is the situation. Recently, we decided to go out to open or officially open our offices in some chosen states because we have got records, from those states of offices that were being opened for the party. So when we go there, we are always being very pleasantly surprised that young men and women and other people across those states always come out en masse to wish us well, to support us. And it's a source of encouragement, really. And we also take opportunity sometimes to do the town hall meeting to discuss with the people, the stakeholders, and so on. And the sort of support that we get quietly from people that you will never expect them to come and say, we support you, we want the change, and so on and so forth. So also the traditional rulers, the businessmen and women, and people of goodwill, because everybody in this country realizes that we are in a total mess, and people are looking for a way out.
I'm sure some persons watching this program want to know, that they want me to ask point blank, of APC, PDP, not Labour anymore, understand? Are you looking to do a business with any of these parties going forward?
If I had wanted to do the sort of business you're talking about, I wouldn't have left them. I was in PDP right from the formation. I am one of the founding fathers of the party itself, even at this level. And by 1999, I was governor and so on and so forth in the party. But we realized at stage it was draining. That was why we participated in the formation of the APC itself. We were there in the APC. But at that stage, we realized that even APC was becoming worse than the PDP itself. And therefore, we were left with no option other than to join or to form this particular party, the NNPP, and contest election in it. For anybody to imagine that at this stage, when the party is gaining popularity all over the country, that one would think of any alliance to work with, unless if they are coming to us to support us.
Okay, Excellency, there is a significant increase in the number of people, especially young voters, wanting to participate in the process. Now, some of them are people who are discontented with the system as it were. Generally, do you think your party appeals to this new set of voters, these young people particularly going forward right now?
Yes, you see, the Kwankwaso itself is based, or support base is the young men and women across the country, because our party believes in education. That's our trademark. That's what we believe in. And that is why all this support you hear from Kano or Northwest or Northern Nigeria is based on the empowerment of the young men and women in terms of education, job opportunities, and so on and so forth. And therefore, any young man you see on the streets, especially in this part of the country, if you ask him, he will tell you he is either a member of Kwankwaso or he supports Kwankwaso in his own way. Because we have done it in the past, and people have seen it. And that is why people are ready to go to any extent to ensure the success of our party in 2023.
This new consciousness just points to the fact that there will be less voter apathy, but yet vote buying remains an issue. We do not know the Kwankwaso movement to spend a lot of money on or to believe in those kind of ideas. So how do you intend to match the money bags as far as vote buying is concerned?
Well, we are aware that those who have taken a lot of money over the years, all over the parties, especially the PDP and the APC. And I'm sure they will do everything possible to use that money to their advantage. But the fact remains, even when there is real poverty in the country, people are in their need of resources, and many people will be tempted to collect money from the two parties. But the fact remains that people are very much in the know that 4 years is not 4 days. You sell yourself for, very little money. You collect it. Somebody becomes president or governor. At the end of the day, you go back to square one or even worse than that. So I believe the voters are definitely going to be wiser than that. In most cases, they will collect the money, but certainly most of them will vote for us. And that's why we are comfortable, and we are happy that people will collect money and still vote for us, especially members of kwankwaso and nationalists and people who believe in the unity and progress of this country.
As we grind towards the heart, I'd like you to speak to your program of inclusiveness. I see you hinted at education a lot of times, and you're even considered as father of education to a lot of indigent people, particularly around. You'd like to tell me about your program of inclusiveness generally?
Inclusiveness in terms of education, or?
Not just generally, in a nutshell. What makes you most endearing to people?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. Now, you see, I'm so happy that I started this journey very early. If you consider my 17 years in the civil service before I joined politics, in 1992 I was Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives. 94-95 I was in the Constitutional Conference, and we drafted the 1999 Constitution. By 1999 I was Governor of Kano. 2003 I was Minister of Defense, and of course 2007 I was in the NDDC representing Northwest. And 2011 I went back to Kano again. It's very difficult under this short period of time to enumerate our achievements in Kano. But as I told you, we selected, and of course deliberately, the issue of education. That's our main key area that we worked in my 8 years as governor of Kano State.
Wow, that's a lot, Excellency. Well, finally, now, as we wind down, I'd like to advise young people who are looking to see violence as something attractive. And then again, how can we ensure that 2023 is violence-free, 2023 general elections?
Now, I mean, there are so many things that should be done. One, government should start working much harder on the issue of drugs. You see, those of us who go out there on either campaigns or rallies over the years, we have seen how many of these, our young men and even women, are taking drugs. The situation is even worse now. You look at almost, in fact, most of them, you realize, going by their appearances, their eyes, their lips, their palms, and so on, you realize that they are taking drugs. And almost nobody is talking about it. When I was in Kano, we took some drastic actions by way of putting various committees to ensure what is happening in our ports, in our borders, to ensure what is happening in our markets, even on the streets, and so on and so forth. We established what we call a reformatory institute. All those young men and women who are taking drugs in Kano were taken straight away to the reformatory institute. After 3 months, we bring them out, and all of them, without exception, was given something to do, either capital and of course some training to do a particular trade or business, or we send them back to schools, or we employ them in the state government. So I'm so happy with that project that we executed in Kano, and we are also very hard on those drug barons to make sure that they are not given opportunity to sell those drugs. So government, for us to minimize violence even before the election, government must work very hard on the issue of drugs. The chain must be broken. Those who are in it must be saved. And also, the issue of all these votes buying you mentioned, the issue of government or whatever security agencies trying to take, election by force, as we saw in Kano in 2019 and even elsewhere. So we had all these issues, and these are the sort of things that will trigger violence. On the other hand, I want to appeal to politicians, my colleagues who are in the business of politics. It shouldn't be a matter of do or die. These are things that, as Muslims or Christians, that we believe in God, that God gives power to those He desires to give. And don't go and kill anybody. You wouldn't be you wouldn't be happy if anybody kill your child or your friend or your brother or sister. So I think there are so many things government should be doing. And government should also try and create a conducive atmosphere for the young men and women to get job opportunities. And of course, bring in peace in the country so that together we can have a very successful election in 2023.
Well, Excellency, I think that's a very good point to leave it. At this point, I'd like to thank you very much for obliging me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kelly.
Well, I've been speaking with Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of the NNPP and former governor of Kano State. Same time next week promises more if you endeavor to be here. Until then, please remember to remain on the road to a violence-free 2023. It is possible. Khalid. Thank you for watching. No.